With my experience of speaking to 2000 students who have contacted me since 2018, I've understood that 80% of the problems that students face in France are because of decisions they made even before they came to France. And I believe that these decisions are made actually because of one of three reasons. First, you do not have access to the right information. Second, you do not completely understand the procedures and the processes that come along with studying in France. Third reason is the most famous and the most common reason why most students actually get into trouble or fall into trouble once they come into France, and that is blindly believing their educational consultants who have not studied their masters or who have not lived and studied in France or who have actually not even worked in France for that matter of fact. For example, let's take my situation. Even before I arrived in France, I applied for a program which was not RNCP certified, nor was it even issued by a Grande École or a public university, which are institutes which are recognized by the state. 2 years after I arrived in France, this situation blew up on my face because I eventually couldn't apply for an APA status. Now, the lesson I learned as soon as this experience happened to me was that if I needed to be eligible for the APA status, I should have chosen a program which was RNCP certified, or it should be issued by a Grande École or an institute recognized by the state, which could also be a public university. Now, at this point, all of you know this information because of my previous videos, and you have not fallen into similar troubles. And it is for the above mentioned reasons why I'm actually creating today's video, which is a part of a series which I'm currently working on for all of you, which I would like to call as the Pre-Departure 2020 series. The goal of the series is very simple. It is to provide you with highly valuable content or information which could actually prevent you from falling into similar situation as mine or the situation I'm going to address today, and eventually it will definitely save you a lot of time, money, pain and stress. Now, a year later after my problem, I unfortunately came across another student who had actually faced a similar problem. Today's video, we're actually going to address this problem, treat it as a case study so that you can actually learn from her experience and not fall into a similar situation that she fell into. First, we're actually going to see the message this student actually posted on a Facebook group. It's just a screenshot. It's probably going to take 30 seconds. I would highly recommend all of you to read it once. So this is the message which I'm talking about, and this is the student who actually faced this particular problem. I'd actually recommended that you pause this particular, at every particular slide you pause it and then you read it so that you understand what the problem is. Back to the video now. Now that you've read actually her message on the Facebook group, I read this message like last year as soon as she posted it, and the first thing I did was actually reply to her, and I eventually went to meet her so as to understand this problem deeply and help her out of this particular situation. See, at this point, if you didn't understand what actually happened to this particular student, I'll explain very simply. This student had applied for an IM Lux program at a very reputed business school, which actually consisted of her studying like 6 months in France and 6 months in Italy at the partner institution of this particular university. Now, once she finished this program, she graduated from this program, as she rightly mentioned in the Facebook post, and her friends mentioned to her, why not you go and apply for an APS, and she went and eventually applied for an APS, and she was actually rejected by the APS authorities. The fact is, her school is a very reputed school, and I asked her the first thing she needed to do was actually email the school about her situation and ask if they can actually help her. Now, the school actually replied, and they mentioned that technically she was not eligible for the APS status because she had actually done an M1 program. Now, I believe that this problem had actually happened to her because of one of two reasons. One, she might have actually gone to a consultant. This school which she studied at is very famous for partnering with consultants in India, and is actually partnered with that one YouTuber who's actually made videos about France, even though he doesn't live, study and work in France. Second, she did not know the difference between a Masters 1 or a Masters 2 before applying for a program, a decision which she made even before arriving in France. So in today's video, we're actually going to understand the difference between a Masters 1, also known as an M1, and a Masters 2, also known as an M2, so that you actually don't fall into a similar problem because you do not have the right information or the access to the right information about studying in France. So what is an M1 or a Masters 1? As I understand it to be, an M1 or a Masters 1 is also known as a pre-masters program abroad, right? In France, we actually have a 5-year education system, or a 5-year higher education system, which comprises of 3 years of undergraduation, 1 year of pre-masters, and the 5th year, which is technically called your M2 or a master's. Who is eligible to actually apply for M1, or who should actually apply for an M1? So technically I had to apply for an M1. Why? Because I only did a 3-year undergraduation. I also did not have a lot of work experience, and technically I had a lot of bad grades also, if you want to say that, right? But that's actually the criteria to actually apply for an M1. This is basically for students who have only finished a 3-year undergraduation, or have actually transferred from a science stream to the management stream, or for students who actually have low grades or even do not have any work experience after they finish their undergraduation. Now the question is, you must be thinking is, can you actually apply for an APS after an M1? No, you can't. It's not the real master's. It's a pre-master's program. You can only apply for an M1 with an M2, which is the master's 2. So let's actually see what an M2 is. M2 is actually the 5th year of the higher education system in France. It is known as the real master's internationally. It is basically for students who have actually finished a 4-year undergraduation in that particular stream, let's say in the management stream. So technically most students in India are not eligible to apply for this. This is basically for students who are coming from abroad where they actually have a 4-year undergraduation. This is also for students who are actually, after their last undergraduation, they have actually had a lot of work experience. This is also probably the best solution for students who have actually done a previous master's. Now the last question which normally anyone would ask is, can I apply for an APS after I do an M2? Well, the answer is yes. You can only apply for an APS if you have successfully completed your M2, and that too, it either has to be RNCP certified or from an institute which is recognized by the state, which could be a Grande École or a public university. So what this means is that for those of you who have actually done a 3-year undergraduation, or don't have enough work experience, or have gotten low grades, or planning to move from the science stream to the management stream, you will actually have to begin with the M1, and it will take you 2 years to actually finish your master's in France. For those of you who have done a 4-year undergraduation or actually have a lot of work experience from their last undergraduate degree, all of you actually can begin with M2, and it will actually take you 1 year to finish your master's degree. Now there is actually a benefit of choosing an M1, and that is basically after your M1, if you actually want to change your school or if you actually want to change your program, you can actually do it for your M2. For example, I actually did not know what I wanted to do for my M1, so I actually went with the very just general course which is called the International Business Management. And once during this program I actually found out what I wanted to specialize in, I decided to actually specialize in that particular subject for my M2. Yes, I could have also changed my school because there are some schools which are specialized in providing these courses, but as you know, I kind of stayed back in the same school. And finally, there's another reason why I'd actually recommend all of you to do an M1 and an M2. Yes, it could be expensive, but hear me out. If you decide to do an M1 and an M2, the first opportunity I see is that all of you have the opportunity to do 2 internships. It's not a big deal, but for someone like me who did not have any work experience, these compulsory 2 internships which I had to do was actually a big deal for me and actually helped me further in my career. The second opportunity that comes with doing an M1 and M2 in France is that it allows you to actually study in the country for 2 years. Why is this actually very important? I didn't understand this before, but I realized much later is that your first year in France would actually be the practice year, right? You're just practicing on how to integrate into the French society much better. By the time you come to the second year, you've already gone through the integration stage and you technically will live your best life during your M2. Can you believe that not understanding how the higher education system in France works, or this little differences between the M1 and M2 can actually cause you a lot of problem in the future? So even before you leave your home country this semester, just actually take your admission letter and confirm whether you actually have an M1 or an M2. If you have an M1, you technically need to do an M2 after this so that you can be eligible for an APS. If you're going for an M2, then there's no problem. You successfully graduated from it and you will eventually be able to apply for your APS. Now, if you know someone who's actually fallen into a similar situation as this particular student who actually fell into this situation, all you need to ask them is to actually apply for another M2 at that particular school or another school or a public university which is RNCP certified or even recognized by the state, and once they successfully complete it, they are eligible for the APS status. And no, you do not actually have to go back home after your M1. You can actually sit in France, you can find your M2 program, get the admission letter, and eventually renew your student visa and finally get your second year student visa. I hope you like this video because it's actually a very important video which you all need to know. A lot of students, including me, before we came to France, did not know that there was a difference between an M1 and an M2. My consultant just said, yeah, you just need to do an M1, that's the real master's. Unfortunately, there were other students, especially the student I talk about today, who fell through the same thing. And now I hope this problem does not continue to exist. If you like this video, hit the like button. If you are actually new to this channel, subscribe to this channel so you don't miss out on such valuable information which can help you, or with this information, you can help someone else. Thank you for watching. I shall see you tomorrow. Peace.